Hey, y'all. What is going on, my Barb's babes? I am back again with another recap and review for The Real Housewives of Potomac. This is season 8, episode 15, entitled Fool's Gold, y'all. Fool's Gold is what it was giving, very much so. Hello. How are you guys doing on this fine Tuesday? I am doing lovely. Thank you for asking, even though you really didn't, but we're just gonna let that slide. Nonetheless, thank you guys for joining me for another freaking review recap of this show that works all of our nerves. But before we get into all that, you guys, please do me a favor, hit that like button as you enter the room because it helps my channel. It helps me push my content out to all the viewers out there that have no idea I exist on this platform. Help a girl out, please, and thank you. Also, share me with your folks if you think that they are interested in this type of content. Please share me with your people. Don't forget, once this live does conclude, let's keep the conversation going down in those comments below. And again, subscribe. Turn on your post notifications, all that good stuff. Also check the description box below for my social media accounts, my Amazon shop, my Amazon wish list. I have a lot of things down there, y'all. And I also need to throw my LTK up there. If you are a fashion girl like me and you like to know, what I'm wearing or, where I get it from, LTK will tell you guys all that information as well. So I need to put that in there. Oh, can't believe I forgot to do that. But nonetheless, let's get started with this recap and review, shall we? So this episode, I wasn't mad at the quality of what we got this week because I was actually a bit more entertained than I have been in the past couple weeks, so to say. We got a little bit more oomph this week, so I always appreciate that. Got to give credit where credit is due. However, some people are still being the tired, dried up, childish, type of people that we know that they can be. They that are characteristically those type of people. Yeah, we still got a bit of that. So, all right, y'all. We pick right up where we left off last week, which was excuse me, which was with Wendy heading on over here to ask this group right here what they were talking about, what was being discussed. I want to know. Let me know what's up. And when she first got over there, of course, it was crickets a little bit. Everybody's kind of like awkward because they know what they were talking about. They know that they were talking about some BS. And it was Gizelle actually that spoke up and was like, oh, we could talk about it later. And Wendy, I'm very, very glad she said, no, we can talk about it right now. Yeah, we can unpack it right now. We can put it on the table right now, not later, right now. Yeah, it's already later. So let's go. So again, what exactly were y'all talking about? And it was not Gizelle that actually disclosed the context of said conversation. You guys could probably guess your bottom dollar who it was, though. Regular Robyn. Yes, it was. I was not understanding why Gizelle couldn't speak up for herself in that moment since you had such an issue. I get you might not want to engage with these ladies any other time, but you can't sit here and look me in my face and say that you are a 10 toes down parent if you cannot even advocate for your child when you are in a setting like this, when it is the person right there that supposedly had something to say or a look or whatever that person was giving off that was negative in regards to your daughter. You should have had enough mouth to say it to that person right in their face. That's my point. I don't get down like that. And actually, I'm going to take it a step further for you guys. Why didn't she say anything when it happened? Why didn't Robyn, anybody who recognized that they were making faces Why didn't anybody bring that up then at the dinner table then? Because I ain't got no kids, but trust and believe when I do have kids, if I was ever to feel as though somebody was making faces at them or trying to be nasty or looking at them cockeyed crazy, as Gizelle would say, I'm checking you on sight. Like, you're not even going to get a second to get up and walk away. And no, I'm going to call it out right then and there, because that's just the type of bitch I am. But I mean, okay, moving on. So yes, it was Robyn, y'all. Robyn that brought it up, not Gizelle. She speaks up to say that at dinner, while Gizelle was talking about Grace, Wendy and Candiace kind of started making some facial expressions and like smirking kind of at each other or whatever. And she recognized it. She clocked it. And that's what they were talking about. So from there, Wendy immediately defends herself by saying she's not going to speak on Grace. And a lot of us probably know where this is derived from. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and roll a clip right quick right here, because you guys might not have remembered. Was this 2 seasons ago? I mean, this was back obviously when Gizelle and Wendy were cool enough. When they were down at her house. Well, I don't know why anybody would want to go over there, but whatever. And Grace, where are we? We right here. Okay. This clip right here. Crazy. Ooh, we're not playing a sound though. This clip right here, y'all. Yeah, that's what Wendy was talking about when it was actually, and you guys might not agree with what I have to say. That's okay. We're all entitled to our opinions. And last time I checked, this is my channel. And I recall just feeling as though it was more so Grace that walked by, didn't say anything, didn't, look or care or have any regard for Wendy, at least. Was it Wendy and Karen? I feel like that was more so Grace coulda, shoulda, woulda spoke up a bit. And you guys might not agree with me because you're like, oh, she's just a child. Wendy's a grown woman. Da, da, da. Yeah, I get that. But I also was raised to speak when I enter a room or when there's other adults or other people in general present. So I wasn't too keen on how I feel like Grace just walked by kind of like, and I'll take it even a step further than that, you guys, and you guys might not agree with this part either, but hey, the ones who do, y'all, we see each other, right? Why is it that, because at this point, everybody's children have been in front of the camera, or cameras have been present for a large portion of their lives for 8 seasons now. So we've seen Grace, one-on-one any other time. We've seen them, filming at home. We've seen them go, activities and stuff. She did her driving, what's it called? Her license, whatever, her driver's test or whatever. We've seen them grow throughout the years, y'all. So I'll be remiss to say I didn't quite, the way that she kind of just waltzed past and didn't say anything to Wendy either or anything like that. I wonder if that was because Gizelle told her like, you don't need to acknowledge her. She ain't nobody. Don't worry about it. Some of y'all might say I'm reaching, but I think any of those assumptions are realistic. I really do, because Gizelle has gone through great lengths to try to cancel out these women, to try to ice them out, to try to get them ousted from the group or whatever. So with that being said, I also feel like another characteristic of someone who would do that type of thing is them telling their kids or whoever around them, like, hey, oh yeah, you don't got to worry about that person. They ain't nobody. Just keep moving. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about saying hi. Hey, y'all let me know what you think. Sorry, y'all. What? Ugh. Someone's always asking me for something. Anyway, so Wendy goes on to defend herself by saying that, she's not going to speak on anyone's child, especially Grace, because Gizelle weaponized Grace against her in the past. And we're going to take it all the way back to, again, how I just rolled that little clip right there, so you guys know what I'm talking about when I say they took it all the way back to New York during that reunion. And by all means, can you not particularly care for a look that someone gives you? Or can you maybe think that someone is looking at you a certain way or whatever because because they because that's just how you feel or whatever, even though they didn't intend to put it out there like that. Yes, I totally can understand that, but that wasn't how Gizelle delivered any of this. She made it abundantly clear that Wendy purposely looked at her some type of way or whatever, and didn't even give Wendy a chance to kind of clarify or say, hey, hell, I could have resting bitch face for all you know. Like, none of we never give Grace coincidental that I said that, right? We can never give that to both sides, which is why I always say, as Candiace always says, the goalpost is always moving. So going over to Candiace at this point, or before we even do that, y'all, like, do you guys genuinely believe that Wendy, going back to seasons prior in that clip, do you guys believe that Wendy was looking at Grace a certain way? Question number one. And question number two, do you feel as though, again, Candiace and Wendy were making faces, so to speak, at Grace? Or do you think that it was more so they were doing that directed at Gizelle? I personally, you guys can probably already tell what I'm going to say. I believe the latter of the two. Yes, I do. So then Karen also chimes in to say, you guys both give each other funky faces at different times. So what are we talking about here? I saw Mia had to throw in her little 2 cents a little bit. It was just kind of like this side not trying to see where this side was coming from, and this side once again having to go above and beyond to explain themselves. And I don't feel like that is fair, y'all. I really don't. Candiace says, y'all laughing and it's fine. Y'all laughing and it's fine. But if I laugh about something, it's problematic. Like, where they do that at? Like, why is that the case all the time? Why is the goalpost always moving? Again, there we go. And at this point, instead of Gizelle speaking up, acknowledging that they're speaking, acknowledging that she has the issue, because again, this is her child, she chooses to pick this like respect issue with Karen of all people, and call her out in a confessional about not choosing sides. Whereas if it was Raven and someone trying to disparage her, because apparently now we're on levels of disparaging one another. Wow. Okay. Or disparaging people's children. Okay. She would never allow that to happen. Never allow that to happen. Okay. So where was that same energy last season? Why didn't anyone speak up on behalf of Wendy last season when Robyn took it upon herself to, in front of her face, might I add, not extend an invitation to her family flop day last season? Where was that energy last season, Robyn? Since you have so much mouth now and you can speak up now, why didn't anyone have an issue last season when Wendy's children were left out, and it actually took Juan of all people to come up there and tell Robyn, like, hey, that wasn't cool, I was wrong, or whatever? And then at that point, you thought, I guess this was your way of throwing a Band-Aid on it by telling Candiace that she could bring Wendy's kids over there. But y'all, the same people right now that are so up in arms because Candiace and Wendy felt uncomfortable. Candiace and Wendy didn't want to hear anything you had to say, not because it was about your daughter, but it was coming from you, someone who they don't see it for, who they don't like, who has been disrespectful to them on numerous occasions. But yeah, we're still going to have that certain demographic of people that are always going to only see it from for one side. And I just don't understand that. I really don't. Hi, Feisty. Happy Tuesday. Love seeing you and here. So then Candiace breaks it down even more. And I feel like, y'all, before I say that, I feel like a lot of the reason why Gizelle didn't say anything is because she knows she can't verbally spar with Wendy and freaking Candiace of all people. She knows she can't do no verbal judo with them. She can't hang with them as far as the things that are going to come out her mouth, and they're going to dog walk her every time. So that's probably a big reason why she doesn't even try to speak up for herself, because I mean, how many times have they embarrassed Gizelle on this show? Justified, may I ask? May I add? It was completely justified every time they embarrassed her. I mean, she embarrasses herself by being who she is. They just bring it to the forefront. And that's a big issue I see on this particular show, y'all. It's not, and I actually had a meme I wanted to put up here about that. We ain't got time for that right now. Anyway, it's not that you have an issue, or people on the show have an issue hearing about themselves, or it's because they don't like what the person's saying is such an issue. But no one can ever sit back and just sit in their ish and be like, well, wow, yeah, I mean, I was that person, or, oh, you are telling the truth, or, yeah, you're right, I can come off that way. No one ever wants to take a moment and look in the mirror and just stand in their ish. And I just can't get down with that. The Bryant children are off limits, but everyone else is apparently we have to come to a screeching halt every single time the Bryant children are brought up, or anybody else's children for that matter, as long as they ain't, I mean, Candiace doesn't have kids, but I mean, she has bonus children, and she also has a husband that was got thrown in the mix. Loved ones in general. No, on one hand, we want to scream that they're off limits, but things can be done to this side and their loved ones. But when we turn over here and reciprocate that same energy, again, it's a problem. My mind, I can't wrap it around that. I really just can't. I know the fact that Wendy called her out for weaponizing her children. They did something to my daughter. Girl, Grace isn't even at all. But last time I checked, if anybody's daughter felt a type of way for real, and kind of was entitled to feeling that way, it was Robyn. Actually, that we learned, a couple episodes ago, that she just recently is able to even stomach you a little bit, because she didn't like how you were coming at her mom and her dad, which is another thing too on this show that I have an issue with, where it's like they always coming for Ray too. And I'm like, Ray never did anything to y'all, but if he comes out his face and says things again that are true, but you don't want to hear, Mia, it'd be an issue, right? We be calling him Raven, right? We be saying he's in women's business, right? Okay. We can take it back to season 1 with Kid. Yep, we really. Oh yeah, we really can. We can just continue to peel the layers back, but for some reason, we're always going to be witnessing them shift the focus onto how the other side did something wrong, or disrespected their kids or whatever. Where's Katie to deny her children? I remember that. So there's been numerous occurrences on this show, y'all, that I just can't get behind, where it was one side trying to hold the other side accountable for something that they more than likely initiated first. So at this point, I was like, Ashley, sit the down, because I don't even know why she was jumping up, getting into it, other than, you know, her being the true agent of chaos that she always is. But I was like, girl, sit down. Like, I could have never. I could never. To question Candiace about a goddamn chuckle. Get out of my face, girl. I would have just completely ignored her in that moment. Because last time I checked, you were not even a part of this. But after Wendy and Candiace both say their piece, and Gizelle, again, is right there in earshot, although she's trying to act like she don't hear them. She's looking very, I mean, you can't see her in this picture, but she's looking, you know, off like she always does, like they don't exist or whatever. So after that, after we are able to table the BS for at least 2.2 seconds, Robyn, the host, she announces the event that is going to happen that night, or should I say, they're going to be doing a Havana Nights themed birthday party for Ashley, because unfortunately her birthday party that she had planned that was supposed to be Havana Nights theme, unfortunately that had got canceled due to the inclement weather that was happening last summer. Actually, even my folks back home, the sky was due to the wildfires that were going on throughout Canada. There was a lot of pollution in the air, and it just wasn't a good time to try to have an outdoor party. So Ashley had to cancel it. So they're going to do a makeup during the trip. Okay, I guess that's cool. Whatever. Hey, Kenny. Good to see you. Hi. Thanks for coming in. So meanwhile, back at the house, they all going ahead. They start getting ready again for the dinner, birthday party, or whatever, whilst a couple of them are making, you know, their phone calls back home and all that. The only reason why I'm not going to get upset with Ashley's outfit is because that was actually her outfit she was supposed to wear for her birthday party. It was already bought. So, I mean, she might as well worn it, of course, you know. We know where Ashley is right now with her fashion. So, yeah, I'm just leave it at that. Gizelle. I wish, why didn't I upload that picture? I'm sorry, y'all. So Gizelle, I understand a little bit better now why she had another garment up under the gold, like chainmail type dress, because it literally was like, there was no, it was literally chainmail. I don't think that there was anything underneath, like slipwise or anything like that. But I just feel like she should have got something better than that beige AF shapewear, because I feel like she looked absolutely ridiculous with that on up underneath there, talking about some whole I literally cannot even with you guys. But for the most part, everybody else looked, you know, decent enough. Yeah. You know, I always have to call out the fashions, y'all, because, you know, I'm a fashion girl, and I definitely pay attention to what the ladies have on, how they're coming, whatever, because that's what I enjoy. So once they sit down at the table, Karen, she actually kicks off the whole dinner conversation and needs to bring things back to Candiace and Robyn, because for some reason no one is ever trying to let this go, although a lot of us viewers did never see that they had a true, you know, friendship. But I guess there's something we're missing here, y'all. I don't know at this point. So she asks if there's any chance of them reconciling or, you know, making progress in their relationship or whatever. And both of them are probably thinking the same thing I'm thinking right now, which is like, why are we talking about this for the umpteenth time? And Robyn actually speaks up first. And she says that Candiace literally slandered her online, and she lied on her husband, or she defamed her by the things that she wrote and all that. And of course that's going to set Candiace off, because it's going to make her feel as though Robyn is trying to play the victim out here, when Candiace feels as though things were done to her that she didn't appreciate either. I'm sick of talking about this. I'm really sick of talking about this, because Robyn's never going to see anything that she did wrong. And to a degree, I kind of have to say Candiace also. I need her to understand that the things that she did put out there are not really consistent with a good friend. If you did consider that person your friend, then no, you wouldn't have said those things or put those things up there or whatever. However, as Jeremy says, Robyn is whack at the end of the day. So who really cares? Like, who really cares? So why do we keep talking about this? Why do we keep bringing this up? Oh, it's because this cast is so dang fractured that we can never just have a regular good time, or we can never, there's always going to be multiple elephants in the room at the same time. So they're going to just keep occurring. Like if there was just one or two people, like Jersey, for instance, if it was just, and hey Jeremy, hey Jeremy, if it was just like in Jersey, where it's Teresa and you know how her and Melissa, they've been feuding since I was in diapers, pretty much. That's only one friendship dynamic. That's only one connection or disconnection, whatever. Whereas in this group, there's multiple weak points. There's multiple broken connections. We got Gizelle not even acknowledging that Wendy and Candiace exist. Then we got Robyn and Candiace. Then we got, I mean, I will say Robyn and Wendy, I think they kind of put their best, they kind of put, do I want to say best foot forward? I've seen them playing the game a little bit. I feel like these last couple episodes. And I don't really mind the Karen and Robyn of it all, because at the end of the day, Karen's gonna get Robyn together if she needs to, and they both know where they're at, and both of them are okay with that. So if they're okay with it, then I'm okay with it. But I'm saying all this to say, if there wasn't multiple broken connections in this group, we wouldn't need to continue bringing up all of these issues every time we're at a dinner table or an all hands event or whatever. Where was I? So Wendy, shout out to Wendy. She did try to jump in and defend Candiace. And Robyn, she kind of tried to say, you know, I feel like it takes an ounce of accountability, but not really, because at the end of the day, she's going to always see that Candiace did more wrong. And then also Candiace oppositely is going to see that Robyn did more wrong in this situation. So with all that being said, let's just not talk about it anymore. Please. Kiarna, Wendy, and Candiace, they really are. And I hope it continues that way. I don't understand. Like, I need to talk to production, because how the hell did we get stuck with Aneka full time when clearly Kiarna is bubbly and happy to be there and has way better energy? Can we just like do a switch? Actually, I'm not even a switch. Scratch that. Can we just do a complete elimination of Aneka and just bring Kiarna into the fold full time? That's all I'm asking right now. We'll get to the other asks later. Can Gizelle not come back at the same time too? We'll get to that later. But right now, can we at least get a switch of Aneka for Kiarna, please? Thank you. If Bravo is watching, somebody let them know. Candiace, yes, she does, and that's why I think for me. I actually caught Andy for the first time ever and tweeted my questions. I'm sure they're not gonna make it, but I asked Candiace that, and I said something along the lines of like, do you regret taking so long to take off the kid gloves and start reciprocating that sour energy that you were getting? Do you regret taking so long to see the situation for what it is? Because if I was her, I would. If I was her, I would have been took the gloves off like forever ago and been like, it is what it is. I'm not going to try to continue to rekindle something with you, and you were never truly a really great friend to me either, ever, anyway. But whatever. Hey, cousin. I miss the old Candiace that used to verbally hold. She's like, did you catch her on Watch What Happens Live though? Because she did redeem herself a little bit on Watch What Happens Live when we went down a whole rabbit hole of anything that she's ever said or did that can be kind of taken negatively. And she had no regrets at all. And I was like, okay, that's my girl right there. And you guys probably are looking at me like, oh my gosh, like you are somebody who loves to see discourse and likes to keep up mess. Like, no, I'm not at all. But I'm not somebody that's going to just sit by and allow anybody to disrespect me or think that they're going to get one over on me or any of that. Because I will be the first person to let you know that you got me up every time. Every time. Then at the end of the day, or then at the end of the dinner or whatever, they jump in the pool. They being Ashley and Mia. Mia tried to not jump in the pool, but then Wendy pushed her. And even that right there, like Wendy and Mia, let's take it back to how they, first started. Mia and Candiace even. There's been certain dynamics in this group that there's been stuff that occurred and we've moved past it. So again, why are we having such an issue now when it's a particular couple people on this side and there's a particular couple people on this side? What's so different this time? I mean, I know the answer, but I want this side to answer. And y'all know what side I'm pointing at. This is why I like Candiace. She's not back punished. Yes. And that's what I got from the Watch What Happens Live. No one can ever say it, but more people, the people that don't like Candiace will just look at that and say, oh, she's childish. She's never grown. She will never grow, and only see fault with the things that she did or said, when a lot of times the things that she says are either in defense of her husband, her bonus children, or they're said because she'd already been disrespected. So we can't keep starting in the middle. We need to take it back to the origin of where certain things popped off. And for some reason, a certain side loves to start in the middle. And I'm going to yank you and your edges back to the origin every single time. Mia is the sun when she gets over things. Yes, and y'all might not agree, but I'm Mia has no limits. Therefore, because she has no limits, I'm okay with her, sticking around for now. I'm okay with seeing, what else she's going to give us, because there's no shortage of what she's ever going to give us. She's always going to take it high and to the right. She's always going to throw a lie out there. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, because as you're saying, Kenny, she does get over things quickly. She does make fun of herself, I guess you could say, or even what we're gonna get into in just a little bit here, the whole like gold digger thing. Like, she has the chops for a pretty good housewife, I would say. Just give her a couple more, another season, and if she takes my recommendations and the recommendations of some other people, Carlos loves him some Mia. Maybe take his recommendations. She might keep sitting in that number one spot. Who knows? Somebody brought back some old tweets of Candiace reading Ashley the other day, and my girl was a dragon on Twitter. They had no choice but to team up and try to get her off the show. And that's what it's giving. And that's why I feel like Gizelle, she don't even want to go there. She don't even, her edges can't take it, y'all. She not trying to get scalped. And I feel like that's a big reason why she won't say anything, but that still doesn't negate the fact that, at least in this most recent situation with Grace and all that, she should have said something. Regardless of any verbal repercussions that she was going to get, she should have spoke up, because you're the one who had an issue at the end of the day. You're the one who, that's your child. Like, ain't nobody going to go harder for your kids than you are. I would like to think. Isn't that how parenting works? Like, come on now. Ugh. I'm ready for the reunion. I hope she reads them GBs for the filth they are. And I'm going to be 100% okay with it. There's going to be those people over there that have something negative to say about it, but I'm going to need them to roll these tapes back and see where the origin lies. And hey, sis. So next morning, everyone's either eating, exercising, or talking on the phone. Cool, whatever. I don't care about Aneka and Ike's conversation or work schedule. I don't care about that. So moving right on. The next significant thing that we saw is Karen pulling Gizelle to the side to have like a quick little one-on-one. They go ahead and dip their feet in the hot tub or whatever, and they talk. And this is when Gizelle found it to be a good time to bring up her issue that I spoke on before, with Karen not speaking up on her behalf. She really decided to part her lips, y'all. And she brought up the most recent Surrey County trip. And she's like, the two people that you invited, like, I just want to, every time she like speaks on them like that, like, it's just, I just don't like it. And she says that Karen acts differently when they are, when they're around, when she's around them. And Karen's already, I feel like she was already sniffing around and smelling the BS, because I was, as soon as she pulled her to the side, I knew she was going to bring this up. And she was like, if yesterday at the beach, why did she rise up and say that children were off limits? And Karen's like, girl, at the end of the day, I have known you the longest. And you're her mother at the end of the day. I don't pick sides, which is shout outs to my tagline this season. And I know that bothers some of you guys, but this is super freaking old. Like, are we really doing this? Like, I'm supposed to stand up, but you are her mother. And I feel like that went right over Gizelle's head, like smooth past her head. Because she's like, well, okay, so were we not good? And Karen's like, no, we're very good. Which is why I feel like Karen doesn't refrain from telling Gizelle how she really feels, or when she's in the wrong, or anything like that. Because at the end of the day, how can you really although I don't believe anybody's really friends, for the most part. how can you call somebody your friend or, someone that you're supposed to be cool with, forming a friendship with, whatever, but you can't tell them about themselves? Come on, y'all. Why can't we? I need some water. Why can't we do that? Oh, gotta get my ounces in. But we got to go back to how Karen did something wrong, or Candiace did something wrong, or Wendy did something wrong. It can never be what Gizelle did wrong in the moment. It can never be, okay, that's your responsibility in the moment. And I just don't see how certain people can't see that. So, I really like how Karen said, this is what a good friend would do, i.e., hold their friend accountable, tell them what they want to hear, what they don't want to hear, what they need to hear, though, at the end of the day. And again, Gizelle, she won't talk to Candiace or Wendy. And that's the Gizelle problem at the end of the day. And instead of focusing on that, she'd rather, turn to Karen and say, I just don't want to feel as though you talk about me poorly or you say things behind my back. And it's like, honey, anything that I have to say behind your back, I will always say to your face. And I guess production called themselves trying to call Karen a liar in this moment when they threw up some clips of her saying things behind Gizelle's back. I'm like, okay, maybe she hasn't said those same things verbatim to Gizelle's face, but she's definitely spoken along those lines. And everything that she said has been things that I feel like she would either verbatim say to Gizelle, or has already said in some variation. So try again, production. And Gizelle also tried to tell Karen that she doesn't think that she always sees one person's point when, though, again, those other two people, or however Gizelle wants to put it, are present. And this is where I kind of was like, with Karen, because I'm like, I'm not trying to give you any more responsibility than what you have this season, because honestly, y'all, Karen's been like the glue. She's been the only person trying to continue to hold, like, if this is the cast, this is like, and I'm Karen, like, this is the cast. This has been Karen the entire season, holding the entire cast, holding the entire show on her triple 20 back. And because of that, I don't feel like anybody should be looking at her for anything more, especially when these are the same people that turn around and don't want to take her advice anyway. So it's like, you get mad at me because I don't stand up, I don't do this, I don't do that, you have all these issues. But then when I try to tell you guys, like, hey, what do you guys think about, trying to make amends or whatever, no one wants to hear that. So it's like, woo, if I was Karen, I'd be like, to all you guys, Gizelle was on mute, but beefing with Karen over being silent doesn't make sense, Kenny. That's the issue. We can't make it make sense because it doesn't. Gizzard, Goblin, Robert Romero are insufferable. Satan's mistress is a confessional thug who needs minions to talk on her behalf because she can't handle girls like Wendy and Candiace. Yes, emphasis on confessional thug, because that seems to be the only time and of which she feels comfortable enough to speak up and say how she really feels or what she's really thinking, because she doesn't want verbal lashing, so to speak, if she actually speaks up during the scenes. You should never have someone speak up for your kids in your presence. I'm gonna always check something. And that's what I was saying before. I didn't know that we needed to bring people in to defend like literally came out of you. Like, why would you expect somebody else to jump in with a shield when you're right there? Now, if Gizelle wasn't there, we'd be having a different conversation. Maybe. Y'all get what I'm saying. Oh God, not me choking. See, she's coming for me. Oh, wait, y'all like the video. Whew. Sorry about that, y'all. Went down the wrong way. Anyway. But in the end, I guess you could say they are going to continue to be the best frenemies ever, at least for now. And we'll leave it at that. Sidebar. Once they rejoined the group and they were all getting into the van or whatever, I seen Ashley holding a Glow 30 bag, and that brought me back to Robyn's newest business venture or whatever. I want to see more of that. If she is doing that, I do want to see more of that. And that's because I'm with the certain demographic of viewers that feel as though when Gizelle's not around, Robyn is an ounce more digestible. And if she does have something going on, that's why we watch the show, to see what these ladies have going on in their lives. So I would like to see that, especially because Robyn is someone who doesn't like to always show all their life. So if you have something going on from this point forward, we want to see it. Thank you. So next up is a more historical excursion where they're going to be dining at a 16th century church that was reportedly the place of which Michael Jackson and Lisa Marie Presley were married. So they take a group photo real quick, cute, and then they go and sit down. There was a whole bunch of cats, but they sit down and they're about to, break bread again, because at the end of the day, we at least going to eat on this show. And I'm at least grateful for that, because they do be ordering some good food, and I'm a foodie. I'm here for the fashions, I'm here for the fun, and I'm here for the food. That's it. So, and Kiana, now I see why she had that emergency bag, because she was talking about she got a migraine and stuff, and I was like, girl, you got a migraine? You're also now I see why you got the emergency kit. But hey, shout outs to you, because we all need some emergency stuff every now and then. Then we discuss Karen and her trainer again. I didn't really care too much about this, y'all, not gonna lie. But it's apparently this ex-NFL player named Vernon Davis. He's training Karen right now or whatever. And Ashley chimes in and she's like, oh, I know Vernon. So then everybody's like, oh, how do you know Vernon? You don't say. But before we can get into all that, she jumps up and goes off to the bathroom. Okay, girl. Because we're not just going to ask you when you get right back. Like, come on now. These cameras are still on. So Ashley lets the group know that they met like 8 or 9 years ago. And other than flirting, they haven't like done anything or anything like that. Nothing's happened between them. They just speak on Instagram. But she's like super smiley and like, schoolgirl crushy this entire time they're talking about it. And my whole thing with this was, we weren't necessarily talking about sex, but I'm just like, weren't you just saying last week how you didn't want to discuss, your sex life or anything like that, which sex life, romantic life, I kind of just put that all together, because you're still married or whatever. So I'm like, why would you even want to talk about this then? Okay. So they talk about him for, a little bit or whatever. And Karen lets them know ahead of time. She just, at the end of the day, I just want to tone up my inner thighs, baby. I don't care about nothing else. And I'm here for it. If that's what she want to do. And if she sought him out because that's who made her feel comfortable. And she saw that he had the abilities to get her to where she needs to be, where she wants to be as far as her physical fitness. I am all for it. And if she picked him because she wants a little eye candy while she does so, I'm not mad at it either. But every single chance they get, they're gonna find a way. They're gonna grasp at straws here to try to embarrass Karen, and that's why she probably didn't want to tell you guys in the first place, because you guys always got something to say or want to be in somebody else's business every time. Every time. Anyway. And I'm just like, Robyn, you sound so damn dense too at the same time. Not understanding why Karen chose this particular person. Talking about she not asking an actual fitness trainer when apparently, according to his Instagram, he actually is a certified personal trainer or whatever. Like, you sound like an idiot. You're always trying to make a mountain out of a molehill, and that's why Karen gathers you every time, like she did on that BravoCon stage and made you cry almost. So if you want to keep running, that is the actual textbook definition of insanity. Like, you just keep running on up there, trying to try her, trying to try this person, that person, whatever, and you still end up getting gathered every time. Every time. That's weird to me. I would have learned my lesson a long time ago, but hey, whatever. Anyway, then Karen segues things into the previous conversation she had with Gizelle earlier, which I was actually expecting Gizelle, the confessional thug, the resident confessional thug, I guess that we're calling her now. I was expecting her to be in a confessional talking about some, oh my God, Karen, why you bring that up? But she actually didn't say anything. So Karen reveals to them what Gizelle said earlier about her acting differently when Wendy and Candiace are present. I believe I heard Mia jump in and also say that she noticed that too. And I'm like, corner now. You have not a dog in this fight. Be quiet. Yeah, I think she said that Karen's meaner when they're around. And I'm like, once again, y'all are confusing people being mean with people just telling you about yourself. And that's not mean. Be better people, and they wouldn't need to tell you about yourself. None of us are perfect at the end of the day. Even if you didn't do something out of malice, that doesn't negate you as a person from making an honest mistake. So I don't see how Karen is meaner around them. I think that she just has too many jobs all at once when you guys are all in her face, because she knows that she's the glue at the end of the day, keeping all of this a little bit together. She's the only person bringing a little bit of the fun shade and, the stuff that we actually like to see as viewers. And again, none of those clips that they showed made Karen look mean. They really just made her look like a truth teller. I didn't sense any lies. There was no lies detected, y'all, in those clips. Gizzard could have put her breast up and spoke for her daughters against Wendy and Candiace, but she didn't speak. She didn't because she's weak. In a nutshell, right there. I refuse to take skincare advice for someone who allows her weave to lock up before she takes it out and sometimes doesn't wash her. Wait, who are we talking about? I'm actually afraid to know who you're talking about because, ew, you haven't gotten too much in that. I haven't. Honestly, if it wasn't for Karen, Wendy, sometimes Candiace, I don't always like what Candiace wears. I'm not gonna lie about that. And surprisingly enough, I like some of the things that Mia wears sometimes, surprisingly enough, even though maybe I don't want her in it anyway. Gizelle, absolutely not. Robyn, absolutely not. Aneka, no, you good. Kiana be looking cute. I really like that outfit. I think she wore it to the last dinner. Or was that? No, I think she wore it to the Havana Nights. Whatever, the gold, the skirt, and I love that. I love that. Anyway, y'all know I can get on here and run my trap about fashion. So let's not get into that. Where was I? Oh, did I delete? No. Oh crap, where was I? Sorry, y'all. My fat fingers. They just hit the wrong buttons. I'm glad Robyn said that her and Karen don't have the best relationship and they're cool with letting bygones be bygones. I said that before. Wendy called it though. She said Karen be holding these heifers accountable. And that's why I called her a truth teller at the end of the day. Wendy, I also need to kind of reel you in and let you know, hey girl, I don't believe you and Gizelle ever really had a genuine friendship, at least not on her side of the fence. Hey Kimmy, how are you doing today? I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep up with y'all's comments. She flirted with Vernon and he wasn't into her. Yes, I did hear that, which can be, quite humbling, maybe, for her. But hey, I thought, again, you didn't want to talk about I just thought we weren't talking about anything romantic wise with you, Ashley. So pick one, choose one. Ashley's still screwing. Yes, she is. I believe that. We talked about that. That's because Ronald Reagan is obsessed with Karen. It gives she wants to sniff. It really does. So that's why when she says certain things, that's all I hear. It gives crush. So Kiana attempted to give her outside perspective on, the dynamics in the group and all of that. And I think that she's starting to see, especially after this episode, that if she didn't already, how certain people are and how certain people moved. But whatever, we're going to split up and we're going to do skeet shooting. Again, we should have already known going on this trip that there wasn't going to be any relationships that were repaired, really. And I say that because one side has been especially vocal about not wanting to do so. So I'm not going to continue to beat a dead horse. I really liked Karen's orange outfit too. That's all I want to say. Karen's orange outfit in this next scene when they were doing the tennis. So they broke up into two groups and it was Karen, Wendy, Candiace, and Mia doing the tennis, whilst we had Gizelle, Robyn, Ashley, Kiana, and Aneka doing the skeet shooting, which I want to try that. Or like clay pigeons. I want to try that too. Anyway, so that's how the groups were split up. And I'm glad Aneka said it first that she's clumsy, she's all these things, so she don't really trust herself with the pew pew. I was like, I don't trust you either with the pew pew, but okay, whatever. They're around you, not me. So while Aneka goes up for her turn, I believe it was Gizelle who asked her, how she feels about everything since she's almost through her first trip with them. Like, how's everything going? Like, what does she think or whatever? And with the good energy that she's showed us this entire time, she says that, she feels good. She got to know people a little bit more one-on-one. Everything was everything. And then Robyn decides to jump in and ask, take things a bit further and ask a bit of a messy question, if you ask me. Because I'm like, why do you care so much? Because last time I checked, you and Gizelle both don't care about anything that has to do with Wendy or Candiace. So why do we need to ask about them then? I know why, and y'all know why. That was a rhetorical question. So she asks Kiana this, and she asks Kiana, did Wendy say anything to her about them or let her know anything before she came into the group or whatever? And Kiana's like, no. But with that being said, the shade was obvious. The most obvious being that Gizelle and her, no. At the time, that was like at the time, what was bigger than that though was what was going on between Wendy and Aneka. And just as she's saying that, Aneka walks up and she rejoins the group, and Kiana is explaining how if you say you want to move forward with somebody, at least for me, I'm gonna apologize and move forward in that order. No. And do just that. So at this point, I feel like Aneka turned into a hit dog hollering, because she's always being the progress police, talking about making progress and moving forward and all these things. But I don't really like see that ever from her. She definitely gives off the total opposite of that. And Aneka's like, well, did you tell Wendy that same thing? Did you tell her to apologize? And it's like, girl, no, because you offended her. What? Well, I'm offended too. Like, oh, girl, if you don't go ahead with all of that because you started all this, you shouldn't even be here. You don't even go here. Who are you? Why are you here? You brought all that forth when I honestly feel like Wendy was being genuine in her approach and her greeting you when you first came into the fold and all that. I feel like she was genuine, and you decided to bring these things on camera. You decided that. So you are the reason why you felt offended. So you should grab a mirror and have that conversation with yourself. Yep. That's what I think. That is what I think. What are y'all saying? More questions, everybody. Oh, I need to put that on a t-shirt, because yes, misdirected energy. They mad Karen out on that BS with them. Yeah, because I guarantee you, if Karen would hop off her fence and just go over to that side, go over to the green side, they would have no issues. There would be nothing to talk about. There would be no one-on-ones. Everything would be fine with them. But because she doesn't do that, and because she rides the fence, or however you want to put it, they're always going to find an issue with her. She's not going to be a part of the shout outs to DJ Richie Sky. She's not ever going to be a part of the Fox Force 5, so to speak, because of that. Remember you? Yes, I do remember we bought the same bodysuit. I do. In my defense, that was because it was Mardi Gras colors, and I still have not worn that bodysuit. I have not. It's not really my own personal style. I just bought it because, yeah, it had Mardi Gras colors in it. But hey, Mia and didn't Ashley have it too? Yeah. Neckbone wouldn't be talking to me like that because Kay was only yes, she was only answering a question that was asked to her, and I didn't even get into the whole pot stirring of it all yet. They was testing Kay to see if she was a bone carrying. Yes, she was, and I'm like, once again, how dense can y'all be? Because at the end of the day, even if Wendy did, if they are friends, then yeah, I would fully assume that Wendy put her on game before she came in there with them all smiling her faces, because we saw I'm not gonna say they were probing her in this situation, but we saw Gizelle kind of try to, I feel like, feel her out to see if she could collect her when she went to go check on her or whatever, since she was just being so genuine Gizelle. That doesn't go in the same sentence at all. So I feel like this was taking it even a step further than that, trying to see if, they could, what information they could extract from her and then turn around and make Wendy look bad or whatever. And I'm just like, you guys are stupid, because if they really are friends like that, why would I tell you what my friend told me? Can't make this up. Really can't make this up. So stupid. Why do you sound just like an echo with that? Oh God, do I? I don't even like that compliment, because I just can't stand her. I can't stand her, but it's because I can't stand her, Kenny. That's why. Ugh. So good. Yeah. She can go. I'll do some impressions of her, and then we don't ever need to see her on our screens again. They just put my face in there, and I'll just do some impressions. So again, Aneka had rejoined the group by that point, and she's like, I felt offended. I'm the victim here. No, you're not. She wants to be a victim so bad, and Kay's like, look, you did what was good for you, but it wasn't good for her. Period. That's it. That's all we got to say. And then directly after that, Aneka's like, I don't care. Clearly you do, because this has been the only thing you've talked about since you came on. And how you're a rich bitch. But we haven't really seen any of that. Where's all that? Anyway. So then Aneka starts talking about don't stir pots that are already piping hot. And Kay is like, is there another issue? Because that's exactly what I would have said. Because there's just certain ways you can't talk to me. Otherwise, I'm going to go, I'm just going to see black immediately. And I try to not get myself in situations like that, because it's just not good. It's not good. And I would have immediately been like on the same type of time. What? Is there another issue? And next, like, tell me, since you want to stir my pots. Nobody's stirring your pots. Like we just said, a question was asked, and I'm just answering it, sweetheart. So this is not what you want, but okay. So Kiana had to let her know, baby, this is your pot, and I'm already out of it. Like that tired A pot. It's already been, what'd she say, stewed, and got off of it. Like, we not even on that anymore. So pipe down. The F. Moving on. So back over with the more fun group, I will say. They're talking about feet, and this is what I mean when I say Mia she will go through any lengths to say what she has to say, or to lie, or to she just be talking, y'all. She just be talking. And hold on. What is No. Okay, I need to finish up with this one because I still need to come back and do my Married to Medicine, which I just had to push back. So, okay, let me hurry up. It's because y'all be keeping me so entertained in here. So after they stopped talking about feet, though, we talk a little bit more about Vernon again. And after Mia's done with her favorite sport, which is lying. And I shout outs to Wendy calling Mia Socrates. I'm like, if that is not the most befitting nickname ever, like that's all I want to call her now. So Socrates asks what they thought about Ashley and, you know, everything that she has going on or whatever. Actually, no, they didn't talk about that. That's what Gizelle and them talked about. See, I'm getting all mixed up. See, my notes is out of order, y'all. I'm sorry. Back with Gizelle and them, they bring up the whole Vernon thing, which again, I already said I didn't really care about because, as we already said, apparently he wasn't really trying to mess, you know, with her like that anyway. So it's because they don't really have anything on their lives. They need to, of course, ask about what's going on in everybody else's life. And then Socrates over in the other group asks about Ashley and her divorce. Like, what did they think? Because she thinks she's a gold digger, basically. And I love that Candiace kind of broke things down and said, I feel like Ashley sees, basically, she thinks Ashley sees Michael as a father figure, you know, and we know her history with her own father figure, or lack thereof, I should say. And so now that there, you know, there's this impending divorce or whatever, it's kind of probably in Ashley's eyes another situation where she's losing another father figure in her life. And I'm like, I never really thought about it like that. That's kind of, that makes me a little uncomfortable, but I can kind of see that. And because of that, has Ashley ever said she's in therapy? Because if she's not, she definitely needs to be, because that should not keep you glued, stuck to somebody. If you don't want to be with them, then don't be with them. Like, you shouldn't be putting yourself through certain things just because, one, you think that you're going to be broke tomorrow and not being able to provide for your kids. And two, if you don't really want to be that person, then no, like, why are we doing this? And Wendy, she also was able to empathize a bit. And Karen, who I forgot about last week, y'all, when I asked who all had been divorced or been in that same situation or whatever, when Gizelle was like, you know, we've been in the same boat before, I forgot that Karen had been previously married. And Mia, although I don't believe that she was previously married, she had obviously been in a long-term relationship with her first child's father. So they all can kind of empathize to a certain degree, but they're like, you know, at the end of the day, you got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and keep it moving. And I am all the way behind that type of logic, because I feel like Ashley's so set on, oh, I can't do this, oh, I'm afraid, I'm this, I'm that, oh, I need Michael for his money and blah blah blah. Like, she's so just, her focus is so off that she's limiting herself, I feel like, rather than looking at herself and knowing that she's all she needs, period. And this is coming from somebody who Ashley's not my favorite person or anything like that, but I just hate to see people have such low, like, self-confidence. Like, that's what it's giving. Because, girl, like, trust yourself that you could do better. Anyway, moving on, y'all. Back at the resort, Ashley, she talks to her kids on FaceTime for like 2.2 seconds, only for us to find out that Michael is going to sue her should his face ever come up on our screens. And I'm like, all I could think in that moment is, I'ma sue him if I see his face on the screen again. Like, we don't trust us. We don't want to see your face on the screen again. But okay. And then she also let us know, no, not at that point, never mind. She lets she lets us know that she has to respect that. But of course, this is kind of hard because this is literally her job. Like, hello. Anywho, final dinner is the last night, and I was actually loving the colors on everybody. Everybody had on some really nice colors for the most part, so I was here for that. And what was Gizelle doing, y'all? Like, we already know she can't dress, of course, or we already know she can't dance and dress, but like, she looked like a mom. She dances like a mime. Like, are you playing charades right now? She just falls short in so many different categories, and it's just so aggravating to watch. So they sit down on the table, and at this point, I didn't really care too much for Wendy bringing up the conversation they had at the tennis court. I felt like that could have been reserved for the tennis court. Like, I felt like that was a bit messy, but again, this is Housewives at the end of the day. And because I don't remember who it was who asked, how did tennis go, and blah blah blah. And that's when Wendy brought up how they talked about Ashley and her divorce, or no divorce, whatever you want to call it. And Socrates called her a gold digger. And I will give credit where credit is due, as I keep saying throughout most of this video, that Socrates doesn't back down. She was like, yeah, I did. So Ashley diverts that question right back to her, and she's like, so are you did you marry Gordon for his money? And Socrates is like, I might have. And like, literally without missing a beat. And I was here for it. And Ashley's like, well, I didn't. And you me, which hence the name of this episode, Fool's Gold. She's looking at Socrates like she got fool's gold while she got real gold, I guess. And she's just jealous because she got fool's gold. And I'm like, I mean, I wouldn't really I wouldn't say that she's jealous, but she's just speaking on the optics that we all see. We all see that this is not usually how a divorce goes, or usually people are more expeditious with divorces and don't typically try to stall them unless there's for an underlying reason, Ashley. But okay. And Ashley lets us know that in her confessional, they have a joint account that they both put money in, I think, and he did issue her like a credit card or whatever. I make her an authorized user on his credit card or whatever, although she doesn't feel comfortable using it. And she, even if it's emergency, she doesn't feel like comfortable using it, but she does use the joint account for all the grocery expenses and Uber Eats and all the, kids stuff or whatever. So, and she is getting child support, although she's not getting alimony, as we already knew. Don't care about running the trainer anymore, because I already spoke about that and how Robyn sounds really dense, being so confused by him. And also I don't understand how she's confused. She wasn't there, but we do realize that someone can be in overall good health but still have certain little issues and stuff, and you could still be in good health and have those certain issues, but you put certain controls, you make certain lifestyle changes so that those issues don't increase. You do know that, right, Robyn? I guess she didn't, because she sounded like a fool, I feel like, at this last little bit. And yeah, that was pretty much the episode, you guys. Kay wants to come back, and I was like, please bring her back and send Aneka on her way, please, and thank you. But y'all, I enjoyed you. Let me just hit these last couple comments real quick, and then I gotta scram on out of here because I got another video to make. Satan's concubine keeps trying to different women in the group to see if they're down to be minions. And it's so tired. Like that's why people keep saying that she has that, like she's still the want to be in charge of the girls on the yard or whatever down at Howard or whatever. Like she's giving very much high school, not even really college, honestly, high school mentality. Because why are you trying to collect folks if you just stand on your own stuff? That's always gonna be good enough for me. I don't need to corral everybody around me to prove a point or to stand on my own stuff or whatever. I could do it just fine by myself. Mia owning her comment had me laughing, not gonna lie. It did. And that's why I say I'm okay with her coming back. Like I'm only a little cringy about saying that because we know how she first started on the show and that kind of solidified how I felt about her then. So I'm trying to still, I need a little bit more to know if I can fully go up for her. I need a little bit more. So has she even filed? Kimmy, I mean, yeah, I assume the stuff is on the table, but are they going to mediation or I don't know. Like I don't know what Ashley's plans are. Ashley can't even be honest with herself with this. So because of that, I'm going to just let the chips fall where they may and we'll see what happens, I guess. But y'all, I really, really enjoyed you guys so much. If you didn't hear what I said before, like the video, please. If you have not, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Check the description box below for all pertinent information, you guys. And yeah, shout outs to everybody who kept the chat super active. You guys know how I feel about you guys. And I'm trying to think, is that everything? Shout outs to Replay Gang. Yeah. And that's all I got for you guys. I will see you in the next one.